Hello there, my little green friend. I am Modi, and the Senate.
I'm a what?
And today actually also marks the start of a brand new series here on the channel, as we'll be taking a look at what if Jedi Barbarian AFOL, what a name, turned to the dark side. I never picked up the original set, and though the minifigures definitely weren't tempting, I already picked up the droid. I think Jedi Bob, you could probably get a used version quite cheap on the aftermarket now, thanks to this re-release. And the clone is just Akbar's head on a clone trooper body and leg. The ship did interest me, and I've got to say, it's fun and massive. I have to censor that. I know my family watches this. Hello there. It's basically a Slave One or the Arrowhead from the Freemaker Adventures. Now, if you would like to see me turn this ship into a minifigure scale version, not just the modified version, but the actual set into minifigure scale, let me know down in the comments. Our minifigure scale Kenobi Delta is almost half the size of Jedi Bob's Delta, and I think for the sake of this video, what if Jedi Bob turned to the dark side and became Darth? It can't just be Darth AFOL, it has to be like Darth Lan or something like that. We need a nickname that represents AFOL but is still slightly different. I think Darth Lan is a good idea. Having a bigger ship than the Jedi Delta and going a bit extra, having more weapons with these modifications. You can see more engines, a bit like Anakin's Delta, just a bigger ship to start off with. Really works for the character. Speaking of which, let's start by bringing out the brand new 3 minifigures I would include in this set. With the original Jedi Bob Delta, we got 3 minifigures. I haven't changed that because this is almost akin to the Rebuild the Galaxy series. Who knows, we might see this pop up in a possible season 2, given the fact that we've got another set rumored for later this year. And I'm aware that it probably did show up in the first season, but it would be nice to theorize on a season 2. Perhaps Jedi Bob just grows tired and has enough with people calling him Jedi Bob. We're sticking with the same 3 characters. We've got an Akbar trooper, we have got Jedi Bob in some aspects, and of course we cannot leave out the Gonk. We do not have Servo, and I've tried to keep away from Servo as well. Just recoloring Servo isn't enough for this set. But we're going to start off with the Akbar Trooper. And for the Akbar Trooper, we have, I think, 6 different choices of Trooper that we could go with. Now, because originally they were a clone, which, you know, depending on what time of the galaxy you're looking at, is either good or bad. But I feel like the clones represent more hopeful characters, and Rebuild the Galaxy has flipped that to be villainous. Already, the Resistance Trooper isn't looking a likely candidate. Because we are trying to go with, I guess, some sort of rebel, I'm looking at the other 5 and thinking about which one would go well with the set. The AT-AT Driver would be a nice tie-in to Empire Strikes Back, with the recent helmet announcement coming out March 1st. The Death Trooper's also pretty cool, but grey, black, even white, I feel like just is too plain for this set. So it's between tan and red, and to go with the ship, which has a little bit of irony, I will admit, the fact that there's red on the ship and the character in red is actually opposing them, I've gone with this Final Order Trooper, and I've just used the Akbar head that came from The Force Awakens to create this Akbar cloned Trooper. I know technically in Rise of Skywalker, I think in the visual dictionary by Pablo Hidalgo, they're not cloned troopers and were somehow recruited, but I don't believe that for 1 second. How else does an army of these troopers show up overnight mysteriously on a planet? 100% they're clones. Handy thing having the 3D printer in the room is I can collect it as soon as it's finished. This is a future video. Now we need someone for the trooper, clone or otherwise, to be fighting against, and I think we're going to save best till last. So now let's take a look at Darth Lan. That name's really warming up on me. And for the torso, I've actually used from the same battle pack as this trooper, the officer's torso, which really you could just wipe off that printing, but we're trying not to deface any more Lego bricks than we need to, because I really like the back of this torso. You've seen me use it for customs like Reva, for the clone Admiral Commander on the Venator, and for a ton of other minifigures. I'm pretty sure Balin's Skull even uses a similar torso. and it works really well to capture the essence of that old Darth Maul torso, like the one they recently released in that LEGO Star Wars book. To go with this, I have used a head very similar to Jedi Bob's from over in City, but I found one with white pupils which look a little bit more menacing than the Jedi Bob head. Similar styled head, other than that. Black legs, black arms, yellow hands, black hood, and a golden red lightsaber, just like our Papa Palpatine. And I think that rounds off the character quite well. There's not really much more we can add to them. They're meant to be an older style minifigure, so definitely the animations would be very much like we saw in season 1, with the slightly more limited movement than the other characters. But you all want to know about the Gonk, Darth Gonky to be precise. Yes, in Rebuild the Galaxy, we saw so many Darth characters because rather than the rule of 2, it seemed to be the rule of many. Everyone had to have like 2 apprentices because they were multiplying like it was the old Republic. And for Darth Gonky, I originally was just going to do a print for the face, which I still am working on. So keep an eye out in a future mock for a Darth Gonky face print. But I've gone with this older style Gonk droid, which if you've collected any of the Gonks, you'll know the first 2 looked like this. The only difference, the color of the jumper tile and the canister that they use, one old gray before the switch to light bluish gray. But this black container with the transparent door, I think I got in a gift with purchase that was some sort of sandwich shop with a bike delivery driver, and I've nicked it so that I can fit on the inside a Sith holocron. You might be thinking, Sith holocrons are red pyramids, so what on earth is this? Well, in Rebuild the Galaxy, Sith holocrons are not as rare as they are in Star Wars canon, and are instead just the regular Jedi holocrons, the knowledge holocrons, but coloured in red to match the dark side. And this fits quite comfortably inside Gonky here, has the knowledge and the passion for knowledge, I guess, completing our 3 minifigures for this mock. Now, just like the original set, you can fit Jedi Bob or Darth Lan inside this ship, and the ship itself actually has quite a few features. First off, the chair reminds me of one of the old droids. I think it was from the Sandcrawler. I'll try and find an image, but it definitely looks like there's a droid flying this ship. But Darth Lan doesn't need any help from any sort of droids when flying his ship, which is why there's no space for an astromech or even Gonky in this set. If you open this hidden compartment on the front where originally would reside blue milk and a banana, instead we have a croissant, much superior to a banana, and instead of blue milk, we've gone with green milk, which I'm sure a load of you will find amusing. We've also got a little 1x2 printed tile for some sort of battery to this ship, because of course, the Star Wars ships don't run on petrol. It's definitely a nice little touch to fill that empty space with another printed piece, and you can get Darth Gonky just in the front if you did want a co-pilot to join Darth Lan. For the rest of this ship, most of the extra little bits are purely just for display. There's no real play feature to these, though there are some flick fire missiles that I'm not getting that one back, are very, very dangerous and sure to smite any enemy in Darth Lan's way. I really like the color scheme that I've chosen for this. Originally it was grey, red and white, and I wanted to keep the subtleties of the red. So we've got the red lined cockpit just in the middle with a few details spread into the outside and some red lights flashing on the wing. But besides that, it's very much light bluish grey, dark bluish grey and black, which are the evil colors of LEGO Star Wars. And to be fair, Star Wars in general, with a few exceptions being the Falcon, the Razor Crest, and loads of other ships, I guess, are grey, but mainly the black colour of TIE Fighters and of even the Kylo Ren transport really gives that villainous vibes to this set. If we take a look underneath, there are 2 really good points that I want to make. Actually, first, the triple engines at the back look really, really snazzy compared to Kenobi's Delta, and the way the wings are held on is really, really cool. You can clip the lightsaber just underneath. Like with most Deltas, I wonder if they'll have a clip for Ahsoka's Eater. They did on the last Anakin Eater, but with the brand new updated body, I wonder if that's something they've left out. And there's nothing else to clip. I guess you could break down the lightsaber if you really wanted to, but we also have a foot to the ship, which lines up to this brick plate combination on the back to balance the ship when it is landing, to stop any pressure from going on the wings. But with the engines as low as they are, if I just move this foot up, hidden out of sight, and place the ship down, yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. There's got to be like 1 or 2 plates difference, if that, because it looks like it's pretty much flat already. There's probably about half a plate. If you just wanted to put a 2x2 reverse tile on that, I'm sure you could do away with the landing gear. And let's face it, when Darth Lan is attacking someone or going in for the fight, I'm sure he's not really thinking about the condition of his ship. I've had so much fun building this model. If you would like instructions to this specific one, it might take some time, but I can definitely whack those up. And again, if you want to see me build a minifigure scale version of Jedi Bob's shuttle, let me know down in the comments. What do you think of this story? Would Darth Lan have a Delta, or perhaps would they have something a bit more like Vader's TIE Advance? I think a Delta definitely works for this space, especially with how big it is when we compare it to Kenobi's Delta. Again, just look at the size difference between the two. This thing looks tiny. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I do hope you enjoy. Subscribe if you want to see more LEGO Star Wars MOCs coming to this channel. May the bricks be with you always.